Willow Creek reopened its school today, bringing kids back to the classroom to finish out the year. Makes it one of the first schools in the country to do so. MTN's Cody Boyer was there when the kids came back.
From social distancing precautions on school buses to the hallways to even in the classroom, the staff here at Willow Creek Public School have been preparing for this moment for days. They say they are not taking this lightly.
I've trusted them for the last several years to take care of my kids. Why would I not trust them now?
For the first time since the pandemic closed Montana's schools, the little town of Willow Creek had 2 school buses picking up kids again.
I'm thankful that Bonnie listened to the parents and that she gave the kids an opportunity to finish out their school year.
Erica Wall dropped off her kids too.
I've never doubted that the school hasn't cared for my kids.
One by one, staff and teachers greeted them, swabbing for temperatures at the door.
We're putting all the safety measures that we possibly can into opening.
To get off the bus, kids have to take turns, but watching closely, memories are hard to lose. Some kids stretched out their arms for a hug they've been waiting for, but couldn't get.
They miss their teachers, the teachers miss their students. It's a family here. Arena wants to tell her teacher goodbye. I mean, she misses her teacher so much. She called her teacher last week and talked to her for almost an hour about everything but school. Just all the things that are happening in her life because she feels like her teacher needs to hear that.
The school is among the first to reopen across the country, with only about 40 kids out of 56 returning at their parents' requests. It's a reality Wall and teachers like Haley Hurst understand, but no others might not.
In a big school, I mean, Bozeman, there's no way it could open up.
I think that the hardest thing for me is that I'm not going to be able to run and just give them the biggest hug ever.
At least they'll be able to get back into the classroom, be a part of the instruction, and have the teacher guidance to continue through the year.
Like Lauer's father, Wall hopes her kids graduate from Willow Creek as well. Early memories, she hopes, that will be remembered for more than a virus.
I don't want my kids to remember this virus that consumed everyone's life. They need some normalcy in their life, and Willow Creek can offer that to the kids.
In Willow Creek, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
The principal says the school decided to reopen today to also give their students a chance to learn all of the new social distancing rules and have a weekend to take it all in. It is commencement time at Montana State University, only this spring things are a little different. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, all the commencement ceremonies this weekend will be held online. Students who are graduating will get a personalized invitation from their college dean for the event. The student then clicks on a link to view the program being streamed. Diplomas will be mailed to the students in July. The lights on Montana Hall will also be on all weekend long to honor the graduates.
Butte High School isn't going to let a little COVID-19 pandemic ruin its graduation ceremony. The question now is, how do you do it safely? MTN's John Amy is live right now in our Butte studio with more on that question. John.
That's right, Kevin. You know, high school graduation is one of the biggest milestones in a young person's life. So Butte officials want Butte High seniors to experience it, but with an abundance of caution. Officials with the Butte Health Department and the Butte Civic Center want to make sure Butte High students have a safe graduation ceremony, because an event like this is too important to cancel.
This is a big deal for the graduates. They've been going to school since they were in kindergarten, 12 years. You know, not everybody goes on to college. For some people, this will be their only graduation. And it's a major milestone in people's lives.
Butte's 250 graduates will each have a 6-foot circumference of space between them on the floor of the Civic Center. There will be no band or choir, and they're calling for a short commencement address.
And they will call the graduates up and hand them the diploma. There won't be any handshaking, of course. There will be somebody here taking pictures.
Each graduate will be restricted to 2 guests for a total of 500 guests. And there's going to be reserved seating for each of the guests, with at least 4 seats of separation between each pair of guests.
We're talking about tickets today. What I foresee happening is reserved seats, because we have our seats, of course, are all numbered, and the Butte High School will distribute them to the graduates for their 2 people that can come.
And Butte High's graduation will be on May 27th, and Butte Central will have their graduation on May 17th at St. Anne's Catholic Church. And in other Butte news, Butte police say a man identified as Jeffrey Westfall, who illegally entered Big Sky Senior Living Center Monday night and tried to enter rooms in the facility, was let in by a resident of the center. Staff immediately called police when the intruder was discovered, and he was arrested. No one was injured in the incident. Management that oversees the facility assures the public it is upgrading its security in the wake of this incident.
We will implement any and all safety measures necessary to ensure that this will never happen again, so that Big Sky Senior Living continues to be a safe and friendly place for the residents and staff of the community.
Westfall, who is a registered sex offender, remains jailed on felony burglary and attempted rape charges. Reporting live in Butte, John Amy, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, John. All right, time to get a first check on your weather with our chief meteorologist, Mike Hurd.
Cooler today, just a few showers around. Now, yesterday's storm system has made its way into South Dakota, so it's getting farther and farther away, but still in its wake, we did see a few isolated showers, even some mountain flurries across the state. But look at the rain and snow reports. Around Great Falls, 1 to 1.5 inches of rain. Around Lewistown, 4 to 8 inches of snow. So that was quite impressive for central areas of Montana. Tomorrow should be a mostly dry day for Butte. There is a slight chance for a pop-up shower. Temperatures trying to reach the upper 50s. Bozeman, slightly better chance for an isolated shower, rumble of thunder tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. In my full forecast, we could see several weak disturbances drop down into Montana from Canada. One tomorrow, another one on Saturday. We'll track both of those systems in just a few minutes.
Good. We'll see you then. Thank you, Mike. Forest Service officials say the process of fighting wildfires will be much different than years past, of course, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. MTN's Russ Thomas has more on the new strategies.
The U.S. Forest Service is making changes to the way it approaches and subsequently handles wildland forest fires in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Those changes begin at the initial onset of a fire.
Normally we go out and take a look at it, see if it's in a resource area that we can allow it to do its work and play a natural part in the ecosystem. This year is going to be a little bit different. We may be looking at putting those fires out a little bit more.
USFS Northern Region Press Officer Dan Hoddle says this initial aggressive attack, along with immediate use of aviation assets, will take away the opportunity for regeneration that can often come with leaving smaller fires to burn. Fires that grow beyond the point of initial management will bring new decisions that differ from past years.
How many people we need to bring in? Do we need to bring them in from out of state? And if so, we have to keep them socially distanced and still be able to do their jobs without being in such close quarters.
Part of that process includes screening and testing for COVID-19 if testing is available. If the summer of 2020 plays out like the summer of 2017, where several large wildfires broke out in the region, the number of overall staffing may remain similar, but Hoddle says the strategy to maintain social distancing will be noticeable.
You're going to start to see probably smaller satellite camps. You're going to see more contracts being awarded to companies that can actually come in and help us support with vehicles and logistics and water and food and in smaller, more dispersed settings.
Hoddle says that even though the process may look vastly different, the overall goals haven't changed, and these goals won't be compromised.
That'll be our number one priority is protecting lives and property and the safety of our wildland firefighters.
In Missoula, Russ Thomas, MTN News.
Hoddle adds the most important thing that we can do is make sure that all camping and backyard fires are extinguished thoroughly and completely. Their stats say 70% of all wildland fires are caused by humans.
Funding from the CARES Act now allows people who have non-traditional or gig jobs to get unemployment benefits. MTN's Annie Johnson has more on that.
Gallatin County residents have a second job, or as some like to call it, a side hustle. But as this pandemic started advancing, people were denied unemployment benefits for that second income. But now things have changed.
Patrick Loken punches over 40 hours a week at his full-time job.
I'm a broadcast engineer, so
with a team of other people, we drive around the state helping maintain PBS's broadcast network.
But to help Loken out financially, he also has a second job.
I run Loken Productions, which is I do live sound, so mostly concerts out of the filling station.
Having this second non-traditional job is what classifies Loken as a gig worker.
I'd say it's more of a side hustle, I guess. It's about a fourth of my income or so. Roughly $1,000 a month.
Up until recently, gig workers were not able to file for unemployment benefits for their non-traditional jobs.
I believe that's because they are not employed by a company that is paying into the unemployment insurance area.
But now gig workers are eligible for unemployment benefits through the CARES Act, which means Loken could potentially get some of his income back.
That would make the difference between my credit card bills going up every month versus, going down. And how long is this sustainable? You can't live off your credit card bill for 6 months.
All gig workers have to do is go online and file an application. So whether you've been denied before or maybe you haven't applied at all, now is your opportunity to get unemployment benefits as a gig worker. Reporting in Bozeman, Annie Johnson, MTN News.